All right, so first off, there is a situation in the past where, a lot of you might have been married, okay? A lot of you might have been in relationships where you are possibly still in that stable marriage, stable relationship, stable union, and you're kind of veering, waiting for news from the other person. And what's coming in for you is potentially a new relationship partner. So this is a little bit of a sticky situation. So you have a new partner, possibly an air sign, showing up as a King of Swords. And the King of Swords is a Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. This is indicative of somebody's air sign. Who is an air sign? It could be their sun, moon, or rising. But I do feel there is a very curious, almost like a very a person who is very prone to asking a lot of questions, not in a bad way, but they are very systematic, very logical with the way they think. So what I'm sensing is for a lot of you, you might have been in a relationship that has ended. You have moved on and there is a new relationship partner. It could also be you have joint assets with somebody, possibly an air sign, and you're trying to figure out how to resolve this joint asset situation or how to resolve this relationship situation, okay? It could also just be you're married to an air sign and you're waiting for some legal news where, you can start a new phase in your life, you can move on, and you can start dating other people. So that's just the way that it can play out here. In terms of what's crowning you is the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands indicates to me communication is going to be coming through. But the person that you're communicating with is a different sign, a different element. So there is potential for them over analyzing what is communicated, or there is potential for you to have to sit and overanalyze, or at least go through, read between the lines of what is being said to you, because I do feel some type of jumping the gun, jumping to conclusion happening from either your end or their end. And in terms of the foundation, we have the Emperor in the reverse position. There is definitely a struggle for control here, okay? I'm sensing that, Leos, if you are dealing with specifically a Gemini or an Aquarius, sun, moon, rising, I do feel there is an ego conflict, okay? So I don't feel deception. I don't see anything that is negative, but I definitely feel some control issues either. And I'm saying Gemini and Aquarius specifically because what I'm sensing is that, well, Aquarius is your polar opposite. And there's already, a lot of attraction, but a lot of repulsion as well. And then Geminis are just very nonchalant about things, so they might hurt your feelings. And then you might like recoil or you might harden up and, try to retaliate. So I feel that if it's an air sign, specifically Gemini, Aquarius, it might be a little bit difficult. If it's a Libra, Libras are very diplomatic and Libras are great team players. They're very indecisive. So that's one, way that it can play out for you. But I do feel that there is definitely something here that you need to do, and you have to be patient. Okay, and you have to read between the lines, and you have to like see things from other people's point of view. And there might be like unintended like blockages in communications where you feel like, okay, I understand where you're coming from. It might just be coming from their end and not yours. So you don't have to, this is not something that you're doing wrong, but either way, just be patient, okay? If you are dealing with an authority figure on the work front, though, I do feel that this is going to be the month where they kind of pile on a lot of responsibilities for you, where it might block your ability to freely travel, possibly travel back home to see family members and friends for Thanksgiving, for those of you who are in the States and who are celebrating. There might be travels that are planned, but the authority figure is not being fair, and they're dumping a lot of work on you, for example. So what we end up doing here is that you are managing your time, you're managing all your responsibilities, and you're struggling a little bit with the ability to do this, okay? So you're feeling a little bit kind of ticked off, but I do feel the authority figure is not being fair. It could also be a relationship partner, that air sign, wanting more of your time and you really don't have the time to give them. So I do feel, whatever it is, there is an element of, not that timing is bad, but I do feel that there's an element that you have time constraints, okay? And it's going to, I feel that the time constraints are actually a blessing, because I feel that if it's, somebody new, for example, you might just jump the gun and you might rush into fast. So the time constraints means that, limit the time that you spend with them, get to know them at a slower pace, drag things out a little bit, because I feel like it's divine intervention coming through, telling you to drag things out and telling you to slow down on purpose, because I'm sensing that if it's a relationship partner, it might not, be like something stable. If it's a new relationship partner, especially, it might not be completely stable. However, there is here external to you is the Two of Wands. This is possibly a new project proposal, new projects coming through for you, new ideas, new ways to implement things, and especially new relationships too. So I look at all the twos, the Two of Cups, the Two of Swords, the Two of Wands, and even the Two of Pentacles. We have 3 twos here: Two of Swords, two of Wands, and Two of Coins. So the energy is very, very strong when it comes to balance, okay? Balance what you have versus what the other person have. For example, we have Two of Swords, which means that, do I have all the swords deal with communication and information and intelligence. Does the other person have the philosophical, I guess, outlook or the intelligence? I don't want to say the intelligence level that I'm looking for, but you want to really weigh out, is the other person a good intellectual fit for me? Secondly, is the other person a good physical fit for me? And then third, is the other person like a good financial fit for me? So you have all these options that you really have to weigh out on a practical level. So don't jump into relationships, especially new relationships, too soon. For those of you who have had a relationship kind of flip-flopping back and forth and you don't really know which direction you're headed, I do feel it's time to let that go, okay? I do sense that you're going to be better off for it. Mainly because what's coming in for you is, your hopes and fears is the Strength card in the reverse position, which is lack of patience, lack of duration, lack of, not duration, endurance, excuse me. Lack of endurance to maintain something. So if you feel already that the relationship is a huge drain and it's difficult just thinking about it and you're not even involved with them, just don't do it. It's not worth it. So there is a lot to be said about weighing out the pros and cons, and that you need to do, because the twos are showing up, which indicates give and take partnerships. It also indicates, just the general way we jive with another human being, okay? So you might want to just reconsider, take a moment to reconsider who it is that you're entering into business or romantic partnerships with, who is giving you the proposal, and what exactly it is that they want from you. Because I do sense that you're a little bit premature, like jumping the gun, rushing the communication, rushing the progression of this union. And all the twos does indicate to me juggling 2 people. I do feel juggling 2 people because I have the King of Swords and also the King of Cups. So possibly a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and an air sign. And I do feel that for a lot of you, there might be, in the outcome position, we have you sailing away towards a water sign. Okay, so a lot of you might choose the water sign over the air sign, and all this juggling that you've been doing is sort of, this is the finality, the month in which things are pretty much decided for you, or at least you're coming into a sense of new beginnings happening, or you've made up your mind. All this juggling is not going to work, so you're trying to balance things out and you're trying to do the right thing. You're trying to be fair, so you're moving on from one relationship to the next, which is great. I just want to say as well that you are trouble, well, not, you are sailing away from troubled waters into more of a calmer atmosphere, okay? But the people that you're sailing towards, in the past, potentially current situation, you have the King of Swords, an air sign in reverse, and then you have the King of Cups that you're moving on with in the reverse position. So they're both very different people, but it seems to me like you're dating the same types. It seems like you're encountering the same types of people, and you're kind of so Leos, my advice is you wanted this and you wanted these things, okay? You wanted this home life, total bliss, stable home environment, marriage potentially, and just you want a very stable relationship partner that can go the long haul with you, that can, promise you the stability of a marriage, okay? Or at least you want somebody that you can stay home with, or you want somebody who you can build a future with. And then you realize it's not the right person. But possibly with this air sign, you realize that it's not the right person. Or you have, been through a lot with divorces, marriage, and things like that. And you're trying to find somebody, you're trying to find a new way to live your life, which is potentially, being the bachelor, playing the field. So you are getting yourself into another relationship where, okay, I'm going to play the bachelor, but you're dealing with somebody who's very opposite from you. So they might not want that. So if you yourself don't want that, you really need to be clear and upfront about what it is, like, what both sides can expect from one another. Okay, so that's what I'm sensing coming through here. So it would be in your best interest, to state your intentions up front and to be very realistic about what it is that you really want, because this new change in perspective, I feel like it's a front, but deep down you still want the rootedness, the same type of relationship. And as a result, you're attracting the same kinds of partners. So just be careful about that. But I feel a very, very strong, for those of you who are single, very strong air sign and water signs coming through. On the work front, things are a little bit problematic when it comes to, people dumping a lot of work on you, or just in general, it's the holiday season. So a lot of things need to be wrapped up before you can move. If you are planning a trip, it's not going to happen until the end of this month anyways. So, take some time to tie up loose ends, manage your financial situation. Don't get caught if you are, I'm sensing, I do have like same-sex relationship partners and things like that, but I do feel predominantly for women who are dating two men, just heterosexual women who are dating two men, I feel that you want to be very careful when it comes to juggling, because you might just be careful about juggling two men especially, okay? Because I'm sensing that you're just having fun with both. You're not emotionally invested. For men, I feel that your partner, for for people who are dating women, so I guess Leo people who are dating women, okay, no matter what, how you identify, what gender you identify yourself as. But if you're dating women, there might be, she might come to take a trip to come see you. So if you're dating like two people and someone is taking a trip to come see you, just be very careful about the whole juggling act, because they're taking the time to see you. And if you're like caught with another person, just be very careful, Leos. Just be very, very careful. I do feel though, by the end of this month, if you are, choosing between two people, somebody is going to want more of a commitment from you, and you're going to have to decide. I feel that the water sign, well, it can play out both ways. I feel like either the air sign or the water sign is going to want more of a commitment from you. But I feel that you don't want the commitment, so you might just go with the one that doesn't want the commitment. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what you want. There's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like they're very similar. So you can't really go wrong, okay? I can't really advise you on what's the best option. I can't really advise you on the best option, but I feel that a lot of you, honestly, just think about it like this. If it's somebody who really wants to be with you, and if it's meant to be, it will happen, I feel. So, date one, and then if things doesn't work, maybe you can go back to the other person. But whoever it is that is making the effort to be with you, to see you, and to spend time with you, no matter how busy they are, whoever is making the effort to see you, and you want to look at this situation from the past too. Whoever has made a conscious effort to be with you and to spend time with you, that's the person I feel that, is going to be more stable in the long run, and that's the person that genuinely wants to be with you. But either way, you are getting new love relationships for a lot of you Leos. Um, I also feel, this is general warning, if you are dating somebody who's very, very emotionally needy, and you're just, in it for fun, have the don't hurt their feeling. Well, get yourself out of it if you're in it for fun and you know the other person is serious about you. And if you're telling them, oh, come see me, I know I'm far away, but come see me, they are going to do it. So if you're just in it for fun, you want to break that off, okay? Because you're going to end up hurting them. So if you're dating somebody who's very, very emotionally needy, and you know who you will know when they come into your life, protect boundaries and break things off if you're not into them as much as they are into you.